And now we begin our next session, the perfect co-star, the perfect sport. Thank you so much, Shahid, for that. In real and real life, may I please call on stage session moderator, Koil Puri.
Is this mic working? Yeah, there we go. Shahid Kapoor has practically grown up in front of us on screen. First as a background dancer, then as a teenage heartthrob, then as part of a very young power couple, long before we even knew what power couples meant. Then he had his heart broken quite publicly, but soon we forgot because he turned into a powerhouse performer. And now he comes to us as a doting husband and father. Please put your hands together for Shahid Kapoor.
His mics come on a bit late. I think they're like literally looking for a... Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to be here. Good afternoon, actually. Good morning. Literally, good afternoon. Okay, afternoon. Okay. We're late people. No, but first of all, you're moderating. That's interesting.
I'm commentating.
Yeah, so this is going to be moderate. I'm not used to things being moderate with you.
Oh, really? No, it's going to be
there's a lot of action
moderate.
whenever you're around.
Let's not make it moderate. Let's dive straight in.
Let's go for it.
Okay, so in your household now, you are outnumbered by the ladies.
Yes, that's very true, yeah.
Do you have some insight into what makes women different from men?
What makes women different from men? I think women and men are completely differently wired, and I think the only way to coexist is to recognize that and to learn to appreciate that. I think whenever men and women try and understand each other, it's a futile activity. We need to learn to coexist because it's not really possible for men and women to completely understand each other. The only part that you can really understand is that we're different, and most of the times we're not going to get each other. But there's enough to like about each other. So I think they're just differently wired. It's impossible for men and women to completely understand each other. It's not meant to be like that. That's what makes life interesting and fun. And you have stories worth telling. And you'll always find a husband or a wife sitting. You know, before I got married, I used to wonder why, husbands and wives always sit and say, oh, my wife, I have to tell you about her, yeah. And the amount they laugh after telling something very regular, anything, I have to tell you something about my wife, and the men will be going berserk, falling off, laughing, and it wasn't really that funny. So it just goes to show that, they really enjoy.
Now do you find it funny?
I find it extremely funny.
So tell us
I
something
find myself
about your
one of those
wife.
people falling off, laughing, and saying, oh shit, now I'm one of those husbands.
So tell us something about your wife. I'm one of your buddies. Hi, how's Meera?
Hey, Meera's great. She's a wonderful wife and
please.
an excellent mother. I am majorly outnumbered here. There's only women, literally. Actually, I was just kind of thinking those 2-3 men out there looking very intimidated. So yeah, it's wonderful to be here at the Women's Summit, and I will only speak positively for women. Please include me in your boat.
But of course, that's what you genuinely believe. It's not like you're faking it.
What is it that you want me to genuinely believe?
That you believe positive aspects of women.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I was born and brought up by my mother, who was a single parent. My parents separated when I was very, very young. And so for me, this entire concept of women needing to be empowered was almost a realization which happened to me when I became an adult, because for me, my mother was always an extremely empowered woman. She was my ideal in many, many ways. She was my source of strength. She was essentially the mother and the father to me for many years, because she was earning for the house. She was taking care of me. She was going out there and, fetching for the home. She was teaching me everything that I needed to learn. So I never saw her as somebody who's playing a submissive role or a secondary role or a role that's passive in a certain way. She was always right there, teaching me everything about life. So I've come to understand that it's something that's very relevant for our country and we need to fight for it. But personally, I never saw that side. I always saw women as being powerful.
You just took it for granted, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's my understanding. And I feel very fortunate that I have that, because I don't need to change anything within. I naturally have grown up thinking of women a certain way.
But your wife sort of is different from your mother, and that's fine. All women are different, right? And she said
thank God my wife is different from my mother. I don't want 2 wives of the same type or 2 mothers.
You know everyone, all men marry their mothers. You know that, right?
I will absolutely not engage in this conversation, Koel. All men marrying their mothers means that's a bit
means marry a spit
extreme.
of their mother. They do. That's what. Don't we all agree?
So basically, you should stop looking for men. Just look for mothers who are like you,
like
and automatically the guy will fall in love with you.
Achha, back to my question.
Yes.
Your mother and your wife are very different in their worldview, or at least it seems. I mean, I don't know Meera so well or anything, but
My mother, my wife and me have never sat and discussed worldview, so I wouldn't really know. But yeah, they are very different, yeah.
because of what Meera recently said, you know that, like, you know, that women should, if they have a baby, they should look after them, stay at home. Your mother did it completely the opposite.
Okay, I'm not going to engage in commenting on what Meera said when she's not around. I think she'll talk for herself. But yeah, I think what she was talking about was, I think she was representing a segment of women which aren't really speaking for themselves. And I think what she was trying to say is that whatever a woman does, whatever she chooses to do has to be respected. It's her individual decision, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in any particular direction. As far as it's her decision, she has the right to do what she wants. And I think that's absolutely true.
Would you defend her even if you didn't agree with her?
I wouldn't defend her if I didn't agree with her, but I do agree with her on most things that she said.
Okay, to a first-timer, how would you describe parenting and fatherhood?
Well, being a first-timer, I think there's a lot to learn. I am very new at it. All I can say is it's one of the most enriching, empowering, beautiful experiences of my life. Misha is this source, this wonderful package of positivity, which I wake up to every morning. She makes me smile every day. Even on my worst days, she gives me a reason to smile. And I just feel very fortunate to be where I am. And I hope I can be a good father and I can be a good parent.
Are you involved already in her life, like with the
I've
you
been
know,
told
the
I'm
diapers
over-involved.
Over-involved?
Yeah, I've been told I need to calm down a little bit.
What does
you
it
know.
mean to be over-involved?
It's like,
what
I
have you
feel
done?
like Meera's really calm about doing everything that I do with a sense of hyperness. It's like, okay, so I have to spend 2 hours alone with Misha. Okay, I need to put like a list of things and I need to organize myself and I need to know exactly okay, if she's crying right now, is she crying for milk or is her diaper wet or is she sleepy or does she have, you know, is she getting colic or like, what is it? You know, and she seems to somehow know by the way she cries exactly what's wrong with her. And then she sits and explains to me things literally like when she goes, mama, then it means she wants milk. When she goes, it means something else. And when she goes, it means something. I don't know like how women, they just know it, you know. And men seem to really struggle with it. So yeah, so I think there are certain things that just come to her so naturally as a mother. And I think I seem to be struggling with them. But there are other things that I do with her. She loves playing and jumping around with me. So we dance in the evenings every time my house is on the beach.
Dance in the evening? She's 6 months old.
Yeah, so there's something called a jolly jumper.
Yeah, okay.
If you guys haven't seen it, you must Google jolly jumper baby or something like that. And you'll see the most amazing, funniest videos of these babies who have these. So basically, you know, she can't walk and apparently a walker is not supposed to be good for a baby because it apparently does something to your hip joint which is not
The do's
advisable.
and don'ts, the pros and cons.
Apparently that's the new one. I mean, I'm sure I was on a walker and I'm okay, but that's what doctors say now. I've heard. I've been told. So you put her on this jolly jumper, which is essentially this thing where she can just keep jumping and she just hangs in there and so she jumps and I dance. That's how it
Have
happens.
you changed diapers yet?
Oh, many times. Sometimes Meera says it's too smelly, you have to change it. Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
the smelly
Yeah.
ones. What hope do you have for your daughter? In the world that we're growing up in today, what hope do you have for her future?
I'm a worst case scenario person. You know, I guess that's why I made it so far. So I always worry about the worst case scenarios for Misha. So I choose not to think about it. I do feel she'll figure it out for herself, and I'm always there to advise her if she needs any, to be there as a friend if she wants a friend, to give her space if she wants space, but to just keep a lookout from far away and make sure that, you know, she's okay. And yeah, and my wife is also a very independent woman, so I've kind of come to learn that I should just, you know, give her space and let her figure it out for herself. I'm just there if she needs anything. I think that's the best way to be as a parent. I think kids today like their independence. I think they like to kind of, figure it out for themselves. And if you're a friend, they'll come to you when they need your help.
Now, you did a film called Urta Punjab, which I presume gave you, with all the research, gave you some insight into substance abuse. Do you think you'd be able to spot a child who was on the verge of like becoming a druggie? Because this is a real problem, especially in the urban centers.
There's so many kids
Yeah.
who are on the verge, already experimenting with it, some of them already addicted, and that's very, very scary. It's something that I worry about a lot. I had younger siblings who were all in their, they were in their teens or their early 20s, and it's so easy. And I think today every kid has a few friends who are exposed to it, so it's very easy to, gain access. I don't know if I can recognize them, but yeah, I don't know if I can recognize them, but yeah, there are certain traits that you can notice. But I mean, who am I to sit here and judge somebody for how they behave and to think that they would be onto
I was
something?
thinking more in terms of if, like, at 15 you suddenly find your daughter.
Let's not go here, Koel. I'll worry for the next few years. Let's talk about happy things, please.
Let's move on to your film.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay. Now, I've actually tracked your career quite closely, and there came for me at least, there came a definite turning point where from teenage sweetheart you became this actor. Did such a point come for you?
I guess it came for a couple of filmmakers who thought that I could. I mean, I was always struggling with being somebody who always looked really young and who never had actresses who could work with him because I looked younger than most of the actresses who were around at that time. I came as a little bit of a free radical. What are you telling her? I used to be thinner than most of the actresses.
You
mean
still
that
are.
in a good way or a bad? You look very sad about it. एक तो ये women का ये होता है कि if the man is thinner than them, they don't like the man. Just by virtue of that कि जब मैं इसके साथ खड़ी होती हूँ ना तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है I'm looking heavier than I am. तो वहीं रिजेक्ट हो जाते हैं लड़के, है ना? थोड़े मोटे भरे भुरे. I'll work on it. I'll work on getting unfit and look out of shape so that the lady next to me can look amazing and everybody can say he's lucky to have her. Yeah, wow, look at her. I'll try and work on it. Sorry, where were we?
We were at your film. So no one would work at you because you were too
Yeah,
thin and too young and
everybody
too beautiful.
said, "Tu chocolate boy lagta hai." And I spent many years trying to figure out what that chocolate boy actually means. So, and they literally used to just say that. And I used to feel like, but I really want to act. And can somebody look beyond my looks? Literally, if I may say so. Because, I was my father's son and I came in to be an actor. And I did want to be doing mainstream films. And I always believed that mainstream films can tell good stories. And I came at a time when that was not the reality of our cinema. And it took many years for cinema to get there. But we're getting there now. We're telling some really nice stories. And people in larger numbers are interested in seeing those kind of movies. And fortunately, a couple of filmmakers saw beyond the fluffy hair and whatever else it is that they kind of
So
called
at
me a
what
chocolate boy
point did
for.
you feel that suddenly now you're sort of, sorry to say this, of course you're your father's son, but that you have the acting gene, that you're worthy of
Oh, I
Pankaj
felt that when I
Kapoor's-
was like 6 years old. Yeah, seriously. I used to tell my mother all the time that, you're a dancer, so I obviously have some dancing genes in me, and my dad's an actor, and so obviously I'll have some in me, and, I want to give it a shot. And so she actually let me act in a serial when I was 6 years old. And I was pretty good, apparently. I used to be laughing and chatting, and then suddenly when the shot would happen, I'd start crying immediately. And so my mom said, "Ki you are born for this type." So I always felt कि मैं कर सकता हूँ.
Padmavati that you're shooting for at the moment and taking off from being fit, you're actually training like really a lot, or you have for the last 6 months. And one of the things your trainer, Samir Jwara, is that his name? He said is that our objective, wait for this, is to lose body fat. From where? From your nose?
See, I first of all, I want to say that it's a myth that actors are fit all the time. They're really not. And don't look me up and down when I say
I
that.
am,
You
because
just
I
did.
like-
You just check me out. Go ahead.
I've seen you in between films also when it's your downtime, and like he's never. Have you ever seen him with a belly or?
I don't have a belly, but I might be out of shape in comparison to how. But I think, yeah, I do like being fit a lot. I do train very often. It's something that I've been doing since I was really young. I've
Can
been
you
into
go
fit.
through like just basic diet and training that you're going through right now? Because it's very interesting, and I think we would like to take some tips from there.
Well, first of all, it's very personal and it's very goal driven. So I don't think anybody should take what I say literally, because I think my purpose is different and my body type is different and all that jazz. So I'm a vegetarian to begin with. So I want to first tell everybody who's a vegetarian out there that it's not difficult to stay fit if you're a vegetarian. I saw somebody clap in the back in a red t-shirt. Yeah. Vegetarian? We can do it. We are doing it. It's not just a ladies summit, it's a vegetarian summit as well. For all the vegetarian ladies out there. It's actually much healthier to be vegetarian. I feel I used to eat non-vegetarian and I feel much lighter and I feel...
Vegetarian, non-drinker, non-smoker.
It was on and off smoker, now completely off. It's my promise to my wife. She said, you can't touch the baby. So that pretty much kind of, okay, then there we go. So it just happened like that.
Cold turkey.
Yeah, cold turkey. That's the only way to do it, I guess. Yeah, so I train about 5 times a week. I make sure I don't just do weights. I try and do some functional training. I try and get on the treadmill. It's very essential to get your heart rate up. I eat 5 to 6 meals a day. Yeah, smaller meals. So I eat every 3 hours as opposed to eating 3 big meals, because whatever your body doesn't need, it turns it into fat. So when you eat smaller meals, it kind of helps your body use it through the day. Drink a lot of water. Try and avoid the regular sugar and fried food and stuff like that, and be consistent. I guess that's what's most important.
So the sets of Padmavati have been savaged recently by fringe elements. Is there a lot of fear running through the sets? And what do you do about it to deal with it? Because you can't talk really, because for obvious reasons you can't be silent for principle. What do you do? What's the solution?
I'm just hoping to get back on set, and I'm just hoping that people will, wait to see the film to kind of judge it, because I think a lot of preconceived notions are around. And yes, I don't want to comment on it too much, because it is very difficult for the production team and for everybody on the film to deal with the situation, and one doesn't want to say anything that will create a further controversy or create any situation which will make it more difficult for us to shoot. So, yeah, but it's unfortunate that something like this is happening. And of course, films have become soft targets. And I do hope people give, an opportunity for the filmmaker to express himself, and then, choose to say what you need to say. But to say it before you see the film is a bit premature.
Okay, before we move on to away from your films, tell me what it's like working with Sanjay Leela Bhansali. We were talking about this outside, which I found so interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was told, and he was also told, that I'm difficult to work with, and I was told that he's difficult to work with, and then we started working with each other, and it was not difficult at all. We had a really, really good time. And I guess people who strive for excellence sometimes can be viewed as difficult. I think that's true for him. I don't really think he's difficult at all. In fact, I think he's a dream to work with, because he pushes you to be your best, and he's so honest towards his craft, and his only endeavor is to make the best film that he can make and give the audience an amazing experience. And it's a privilege to be working with somebody like that, who, has made so many amazingly successful films. He's been relevant for over 20 years now, and there's very few filmmakers who you can say that about. And his craft is still so amazingly new and different, and he surprises you every time, and his heart is still so simple and so pure. The success is not
enough
really...
of the bromance.
No, but I mean all these things. So should I only praise women on your platform and then only ask me about women? Why are you asking me about men at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, I think we should.
So maybe
Abhi samjhota nahi karna hai.
Okay, let's come to women. Let's come to the women in your
there.
life. Okay? Marriage.
Okay.
Now,
Why does women in marriage have to be just go like that?
Like what?
Like women, marriage.
No, because you're married. I want to talk about your marriage. You can talk about other women. You want to?
I can talk about whoever you want me to talk about. There are no restrictions as such.
Oh, really?
No, none. That's why
Who
I said
do we
this.
want him to talk about? Anyone? Come on.
No. Ask them genuinely. Don't ask them in that intimidating fashion.
Secret past. Do you have a secret woman in
I
your
have a
past?
secret past? How do you know about my secret past? Were you spying on me? Get what right? My secret past? I can't confess to a secret. How is that secret, madam? It's the world's secret, if that's what you mean.
You said name a woman. She's naming a woman.
उसके आगे आपका कोई सवाल है कि सिर्फ नाम लेना है? उसके बारे में आपको क्या पूछना है? कुछ नहीं, सवाल नहीं है.
Achha, come on, let's
उन्होंने नाम ले लिया, वो खुश है नाम
Can I come
लेके.
back to the marriage,
Yes,
or you
please,
want to
please.
talk about other women
No,
still?
please stick to the marriage. Stick to the marriage.
Now, you openly said that actually you connected with Meera, or you fell in love with her really after she got pregnant. You guys both sort of came really close. Does
I
that,
like saying we got pregnant. Yeah, I mean थोड़ा तो participate करने दो.
what did you do?
What did I do? Literally, you want to know?
Apart from,
अभी तक आपको इतना मम्मी पापा बच्ची इतनी बड़ी हो गई है, इसको बताओ कैसे प्रेग्नेंट होती हैं औरतें. देखो ये समिट में ये सब बातें मत करो अभी.
Okay, you
इतना
helped
यहाँ
with
पे जो
conception,
भी
but I'm
women
sorry,
हैं,
you
सब
were
पता है
not
उनको.
pregnant. This thing
I
about
was not
men
pregnant.
being pregnant to
I'm
me
just
is
saying
like,
that it's nice. It's nice to say us. So it's nice to say we were pregnant, because
you walk around with
that
a
kind of
pillow?
gives you a sense of participation, and so it makes you feel responsible, and so you feel the need to contribute, which most men don't, and they really should, in whatever way that the woman wants them to. Correct? it is important to know that you were a part of it, so it's kind of, you know, your responsibility as well.
I agree with you, especially because you must have gone through all the labor pain and all the stretch marks.
I
and the
realized that. I actually
pregnancy
realized
and the
that
vomiting.
when I was in the
And-
labor room,
Yeah.
I was actually holding my breath like her. And at one point I felt a little dizzy, and she kind of whacked me and said, "Why are you getting all dizzy? I'm doing all the work." So I think in my head I did go through all those things with her. So yeah, that
as
tends
an
to
actor,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah, there is a condition also. I don't remember what it's called, but there is some empathetic something.
Empathetic pregnancy.
Pregnancy
yeah,
where men
yeah.
start, you know, putting on weight, and I don't know whether they start lactating and stuff, but stuff like that does happen. Yeah, they start feeling everything that the woman's feeling. It's quite funny. I didn't lactate, if that's your
I
next
will
question.
change my question. When you guys got...
And you know, they have those other things as well. You know,
Yeah,
those
with the men.
those things that you can hang and then you have a bottle out here. And so I find that really weird. I'm like, that's a bit pushing it a little
Are
bit,
you
isn't
curious to try it?
it? I have fed her with a bottle, but it wasn't hanging off my chest.
Was it right there?
Like I said, I clarified before you asked.
So can I come back to my question?
Come back. Now that you
So
know
when
how women get pregnant.
When both of you were pregnant, okay, when you guys were pregnant, then you sort of found love for each other in a true sense, right? You kind of, or it really
We were
grew.
discovering each other, you know, and I really think relationships are driven by the experiences that two people share with each other, whether that happens to be husband or wife, or whether it happens to be two friends, or whether that happens to be a parent and a child, or a brother and a sister, you know. I think it's really the experiences that you share with each other, and it's the times which you tide over together, and it's the things that you do together that kind of essentially make you fall in love in the real sense, or make you love each other in the real sense. And I think for me and Meera, Misha was our first project together. You know, till then everything pretty much just happened, you know. We didn't really do anything together. The house was pretty much done, and you know, everything was kind of set up. And this is the first thing that we kind of set out to do together, and it was something which was complete only with both of us being in it. So,
And you being pregnant.
yes, of course. That being a large part of it. And yeah, so we did it together, and that felt amazing, and that kind of really helped us feel a sense of togetherness and a sense of companionship, you know, something. And I think a child does that, you know, because it comes from both the parents, and so the kind of sense of sharing that you feel, and that other person, by virtue of the child, becomes such a huge part of your life, where you know that what you have done with your partner, the fact that you have a child together, and that child is half you and half her, kind of,
Misha.
it just changes literally. Yeah.
Literally, right?
You know, that was really funny how that happened.
Because you guys were by the press named Misha, right?
No, we were not named by the press.
thought-
Please, yeah, I thought I came up with it. Aisa
Oh,
mat lo.
sorry.
Mera credit mat lo mere. I just looked at my wife and I said, I know it's a bit cheesy, but you know, it's a really cute name, Misha. And then we looked up the meaning, and it means, so it means smile, and then it means godlike. So we thought, you know, it's spiritual and it's cute at the same time, so we went with it.
So by that measure, does it mean that love is not a necessary requisite to get married?
Of course it is, but I think in arranged marriage it's difficult for you to fall in love before you get married. It's about companionship and friendship first, and love follows.
But what
And
if it
sometimes when you
doesn't?
fall in love, because I have been there as well, you know, companionship and friendship doesn't follow. So in either case, it can be difficult. I mean, if you find companionship and friendship but don't find love, that is difficult. And if you find love but you can't really get along, which happens a lot, people are really attracted to each other and they're really into each other, but they can't really find a way of coexisting. And sometimes the most difficult relationships come through that. So yeah, so there is natural progression in both types of marriages, and it's different in either. The journey and the graph is different. What I like about this graph is that we get to know each other better every day, and every day seems better than the previous
What
day.
if the love hadn't come?
Well, then we wouldn't be having this lovely mushy chat about my marriage here, would be? I'd be sitting somewhere with my, you know, in depression, which is a possibility, but thankfully it did. And that's true for marriage. I think it's really not something that's going to work out on its own. I think, and I learned that because I've seen separation. I've seen my parents separate, and I've seen that very close quarters. And I really do feel that if you're looking for a 10 on 10, then I don't think marriage will ever satisfy you. I think one has to learn to understand that there are going to be certain things which are going to be positive, and you need to learn to focus on them. And there are going to be certain things which you need to work around. And I think that's true for every relationship in life. That somehow we always take marriage for granted. Ki abhi shaadi ho gayi to sab theek ho jayega. Actually, that's just the beginning of sharing a life experience together. And there is a lot that it will take for you to make it work. And there will be many stages that you go through. And I've just been married for less than 2 years. And I've already gone through stages where you need to work at it, So it's an
Is
ongoing.
this something that you're talking about relationships require work? You've been in not many, but quite a few relationships.
How many have
in
you
the
been
past.
in? Let's talk about your relationships.
I've been in enough.
See
to
how she got
satisfy.
defensive immediately. And you saw me how I kind of like deflected it. Like I'm a pro now.
But I'm not getting into your past relationships. They are kind of, everyone knows
So kind
them.
of you.
But
शादी के बाद ऐसा मत किया करो
yeah,
यार.
so finish, no? But I
हाँ.
want to know the time that you spent before you met Meera, 4 years or something, alone, single. Was that, what did you discover about yourself to come to
So-
this point to be a happily married man?
Yeah, so first I loved it. I got a sense of freedom and independence, which I really liked. I had 20s, which were not really like. My teens and my 20s were spent working a lot because I was, the eldest son of a single mother. And so I felt this sense of responsibility and the need to contribute and to share her responsibilities and her burdens and things like that. So my teens and my 20s were a lot of work. So my 30s kind of were my 20s. I lived my 20s and my 30s because I had that independence and I really enjoyed that for a while.
Which means what? Like a lot of relationships, partying,
I mean,
having...
it's not just about a lot of relationships. It's about a sense of being able to do whatever it is that you want to do, and you're not really dependent on anybody. You don't need permission from somebody, because when you're like 29, 30, when you've been working for 8 or 10 years, when you've been living alone for 6 or 7 years, you don't really need to, go to your mom or dad
justify
and say, "Acha, मैं
anything,
सोच रहा
yeah.
था कि मैं ना 5-6 दिन के लिए गोवा जा रहा हूँ. Is that okay for you?" You don't need to do that. So I felt that, and I enjoyed that, and then I realized I'm really lonely. And, I realized that I have nobody to share it with. Of course, I have my parents and I have friends, but it's very different. When you have a companion, when you have a partner, the kind of sharing that happens is far more enriching, so to say. So I really missed that, and I felt I was ready to kind of find somebody and settle down. So I think I was ready for marriage when I met Meera, and she seemed like just somebody that would add a lot to my life. And yeah, I thought she was
She adds normalcy to your life. What do you add to her life?
craziness.
Does she want it?
I think women like a little bit of crazy. I think women, the one thing you shouldn't do with women is get them bored. I think that's the one thing women hate. They hate being bored. You need to keep them entertained. I heard a yes somewhere.
I think that deserves a bigger round of applause. Come on. Tell us what you learned from heartbreak.
Move on swiftly. It's not the end of the world. There is a lot to look forward to. Focus on all that.
Did it
Otherwise,
inform you
I think self-pity can be something which kind of, engulfs your universe, and you become a bit indulgent about it. We all like feeling bad about ourselves. कि ऐसा मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है भगवान? मैं तो सबके लिए अच्छा सोचता या सोचती हूँ, और लोग मेरे साथ ही गलत क्यों कर देते हैं? इसमें ना कई साल निकल जाते हैं, and a lot of good things that are coming your way just kind of like you just miss them because you're wearing these pair of glasses where it's all about sympathy. मैं बेचारा, मैं बेचारी. So really, I think we get indulgent about self-pity, and we should move on swiftly because there's a lot life has to offer.
Okay.
Somebody's playing this song
Very
behind us.
loud music at the back.
धक धक करने लगा.
Go on.
That's what they're singing.
Go on.
You can sing the second line with me.
I can't sing.
Come on, yeah.
Can somebody help me here, please? Really, genuinely.
I think that person has run away because the music has stopped. I think they realized.
Okay, listen. Now that the song has disturbed us, let's play a little game. This is to charm the audience, right? To fall more in love with you than they already are.
So are they going to ask me questions?
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Just pick a chit,
Pick.
do what the chit says.
Okay. Do all the chits say the same thing?
Maybe.
Recite love poetry. Can I just say twinkle, twinkle, little star for
Come
now?
on, little bit of
That's what I've been
encouragement.
focusing on. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, I love you, Meera. Is that good? I think she'll appreciate that because she thinks I don't know enough nursery rhymes.
Okay, do us a lullaby then.
Okay, no, I can't, yeah, because my lullabies are very strange. I start humming random things.
Do we want to hear the strange one?
No. I'm
Come
not doing a
on, come
lullaby.
on.
Come on, yeah. This is a women's summit and all. Let's talk about. I'm not doing a lullaby, yeah. Come on.
Listen, do you think all of us who are
I don't
mothers
remember
here,
any lullabies. My wife keeps firing me about that. I just sing random
I sing
stuff.
ABCD to my daughter, okay?
Okay,
Not
lovely.
your ABCD. Not your ABCD.
No, but I do random stuff. Yeah, I do very like improvise, like la 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 and all that jazz.
Go on.
And she just like stares at me and looks at me and says, "Dad, really?" Stop. Okay, I'm sleeping. So seriously, I'm not very good at it.
Okay, next chit. Although one of them is the lullaby, if you get that, then just ignore it.
Okay.
See, ignore that one.
Saved by the Bell almost.
Saved by the Bell, but no, we just got two more chits to do and then we're done.
Really, you want me to give out my best pickup line? Actually, honestly, I've never needed one.
Okay, so the best one that's been used
I
on
really
you.
haven't ever needed one. I swear.
I'm sure.
Because
I
was
have no
too-
doubt.
I was too shy in college to ever approach a girl. And by the time I needed a pickup line or I could use one, I didn't need one. I'm being honest.
Okay, I agree. What was the one that was used on you? I'm sure many have been used on you. Some
No,
what
हमारा
is the worst pickup line
my
that's
thing
been
ना
used on
हमारी
you?
ना आंखों आंखों में बातें हो जाती थी.
Acha. Okay, I'll open this one for you. For this, I think we might need a volunteer and some music, please.
Teach best dance moves. I'll teach you.
Look, let's have one of
Okay,
the...
yeah. Whoever is willing.
Does anyone want to volunteer?
The lady who said Kareena Kapoor, I want her on stage. Come
Come
on.
on!
See, this is karma. Life gets back. What goes around comes around,
Come
my dear.
on!
And not just Justin Timberlake said that. That's true for life.
What
आ जाओ
song?
आप, आ
What
जाओ.
song?
हाँ?
What song do we have? Shahid song, please. Cue.
No, I'll just teach her a step,
Acha,
yeah.
Okay, just teach it.
I
like
think.
that.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause.
तेरे छज्जे के नीचे खड़े हैं बस गए जैसे दलदल
Okay.
तेरे छज्जे के नीचे ही खड़े हैं बस गए जैसे
Ma'am, what kind of dance would you like me to teach you? I hope that's the only thing you're taking off. I'm getting a bit scared. It's getting a bit hot in here. What dance move would you like? आपको कैसा डांस अच्छा? इनको easy डांस अच्छा लगता है. आओ मैं आपको easy डांस सिखाता हूँ. नहीं मैं आपको एक सेकंड. I'll do both things यार. I'm multi talented. मैं आपको सिर्फ घुमाता हूँ क्योंकि आज आप मुझे घुमा रहे थे. ऐसे सवाल पूछ के तो अभी मैं आपको घुमाता हूँ. और then I'll go on my knees. नहीं आप don't worry. I've held you and it was wonderful meeting you, ma'am. And I hope I satisfied you. Thank you so much.
Big, huge round of applause for Shahid Kapoor.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
That was wonderful, Shahid. Wonderful. And brilliant performances. You don't look anything like a chocolate boy in Heather and Kamine.
Thank
That
you
was
so much.
Beautiful
Thank you.
performances.
Thank you.
Now, I would request you to kindly stay on stage. We have a small surprise for Shahid Kapoor, who's already charmed us enough. Siddhi? We have a short video playing behind me. The immensely talented Shahid Kapoor, whether it was foil to Alia Bhatt in the recently released Urta Punjab or in Rangoon, where he was an able soldier to Kangana Ranaut's Miss Julia, Shahid is indeed making way for empowerment, both in real and real life. Off screen, he's a very proud husband, a very loving father, and son to a single mother. And it was really nice hearing about you embracing pregnancy as well along with your wife. The India Today Man of the Year award, ladies and gentlemen, goes to Shahid Kapoor for being a true feminist ally this year. May I please call on stage Mrs. Rekha Puri, chairperson of the Vasant Valley School, to kindly come on stage and give away the award. Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear a big round of applause for Shahid Kapoor.
Boys to gentlemen.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Shahid. May I also please call on stage Director Marketing Forever Mark, Turanj Mehta, to kindly come and give a small token of thanks to our guest. Thank you. Thank you once again, Shahid. It was lovely hearing from you. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much,
ladies and
Koel.
gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you.